Hey soldiers, there is danger on the horizon with regard to digital assets. I'm talking about NFTs and cryptocurrencies. Now, if you followed this channel for any length of time, you know that I've long said that I'm not interested in crypto. I do not begrudge those who are. To me, it is purely speculative, and you can make money off of speculating on various things. Okay, people do that, and some of them have it down to a fairly well, and they know what they're doing and make a lot of money. But here is my problem with crypto, and I have expressed this on this channel before. First of all, it's not backed by anything. Okay, Bitcoin is not backed by anything. And for those who have, said that, well, Bitcoin is going to replace the dollar or compete with the dollar, the dollar is not, well, the dollar is backed by something. The dollar is actually backed by America's ability to enforce its taxation policy. Okay, that's really what the dollar is backed by. Crypto is purely speculative, thin air. There's no intrinsic value to it. There is no utility to it. Sure, there are some places that can will accept crypto or Bitcoin. The liquor store where I bought this beer ain't one of them. The supermarket that I frequent several big chain supermarkets. Harris Teeter, I believe they're a national brand. Giant's a regional brand. They're owned by Ahold, which is a global company. They don't accept Bitcoin. Okay, so what can I do with it? What exactly can I do with it? And some might say, well, what can you do with gold? Well, gold has intrinsic value that is recognized and has been recognized for thousands of years. In fact, I got into a debate with a guy about crypto versus gold. This was maybe about 9 months ago. And at that point, he took the route in the debate where he literally laughed at gold and said that, I was not smart because in the last 10 years, crypto had outperformed gold. Bitcoin had outperformed gold specifically. And I said to him, well, it's funny that you can only go back 10, I think 13 years at the most on Bitcoin. Gold has, again, a history of millennia. All right. He didn't seem to get this. Okay. You can't take a 10-year chunk of time, compare it to something that's in its infancy and the height of its enthusiasm, and say, oh, well, this, 5,000-year-old asset that people have recognized, that's rare so far as we know throughout the universe. This thing is, passe. It has outlived its usefulness. This is the new thing. Okay, so those two issues, the fact that Bitcoin was never backed by anything, the fact that its utility was scant at best, and then that argument where, oh, it's going to compete with the US dollar. Do you really think that a sovereign nation with the power that the United States has is going to allow a competing currency? Do you really think that? Do you think these nations around the world are going to allow that? Now, you might say, well, there's this court case over here and that's court case. Governments are the masters of theater, all right? And we did a video about when they did the Bitcoin, they did a Bitcoin ETF. And I told you then, if that thing passed SEC muster, Securities and Exchange Commission muster, then they're controlling it, okay? They have some authority over it. They can shut it down if they want, okay? You don't just open an ETF and get people to invest in it from all over the world and think that you're just going to do your own thing. And you're certainly not going to be able to compete with a currency a fiat currency like the US dollar that is supported by an actual military, okay? You're not going to do it. Gary Gensler, the head of the SEC, came out recently and said that Bitcoin was a commodity. What a joke. These government officials are just playing a lot of people for absolute fools. Oil is a commodity. It has a use. Gold, silver, commodities, they have uses. All right. When you look at the definition of commodity, Bitcoin does not fit. Now, I know these guys are, really into redefining terms. Okay. That's in vogue, especially with our government. Remember, transitory. Inflation is just transitory. There's a guy over here doing some work. I don't know if you guys hear that. But in any event, inflation's transitory. Come on. Okay, while he's working over there, let's hear from Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger on what they think about this whole Bitcoin thing.
I think it's rat poison.
Probably rat poison squared.
It will come to a bad ending.
In my life, I try and avoid things that are stupid and evil and make me look bad in comparison with somebody else. Bitcoin does all three.
Now, if you told me you owned all of the Bitcoin in the world and you offered it to me for $25, I wouldn't take it because what would I do with it?
All right, so I'm no fan of Munger, and especially Munger and Buffett. You cannot deny their investing prowess. But these guys are some of the worst of the worst. If you've heard you ever heard what Munger said with regard to Elon Musk? How about his feelings on Jack Ma? I mean, you might if you just hear Charlie Munger talk, you would mistake him for a card-carrying member in good standing of the Chinese Communist Party. The guy is really... I'll say it. He's evil. And for him and Buffett to have such a close relationship all these years means Buffett, despite his aw shucks attitude, isn't too far off. Okay. So, but they are investors par excellence. They are. You can't deny it. All right. And they express some of the same concerns about this thing that I have. All right. I'm not a fan of it at all. Now, let's go back. Gensler calling Bitcoin a commodity. The definition of commodity, get my words straight here. I had a swig of this beer while Munger was talking. A raw material or primary agricultural product that can be bought and sold, such as copper or coffee. A useful or valuable thing, such as water or time. That's the other definition for it. So I guess you could say, yeah, it's valuable. It does have a value assessed. But this beer probably would go for $1,000 to a man who is in the desert and hasn't had a drink of water in a day. Okay, doesn't mean that it's universally accepted that this beer will fetch that type of price tag. So no, Bitcoin isn't a commodity. I don't care what Gary Gensler says. I don't care what committee or what commission he chairs. Just like I told you that inflation was not transitory. I don't give a damn what Janet Yellen and Jerome Powell says. I've taken a macroeconomics course, and in the first half of the class, they discuss what creates inflation. Okay. And Janet Yellen and Jerome Powell, I don't care what school they graduated from. I don't care what position they hold in government. They're not going to change that. And Gensler's not going to change the definition of a commodity, no matter how hard he tries. So, Bitcoin has had a tough few weeks. It may come back. I'm not counting it out. There's speculation that some of these cryptos are insolvent already. Secretly insolvent cryptos ensure more chaos coming. This is from Zero Hedge. Earlier this month, when crypto Celsius collapsed, there was an article talking about how the chaos in the asset class likely wasn't over, while also speculating that further scrutiny on the crypto industry and specifically stablecoins was on the way. Again, government control. They're going to allow this to play out. They're going to allow a certain amount of chaos so that some of the enthusiasm will die down, and they being the government, will have an excuse for more regulation. And if you want to kill something, regulate it. regulate the hell out of it. Okay, especially something like crypto that's decentralized. It doesn't have, the entrenched lobbying groups in DC. The financial companies are trying to get in on it, but I think they have a whole nother game at play. As of just hours ago, it looks as though there are further blowups in the sector. Let's see. On late Tuesday night, an interview in Forbes by crypto billionaire Sam Bankman-Fried made the admission that, quote, there are some third-tier exchanges that are already secretly insolvent, unquote. In other words, they've already failed. We just haven't heard about it yet. Forbes came away from their interview with Bankman-Fried, drawing the conclusion that the, quote, fallout is far from complete in the space, unquote. So, you got your money in a crypto exchange? You better do some due diligence and make sure that either you get your money out as soon as possible, or it is secure. It is solvent, the company that you're with. Now, I'll be totally transparent. I invested $100 in XRP. $100. That investment is about $34 now. $100. I said, let me just get in, see what, so I can honestly say that I went in and tried this. And it's down to $34. Now it may go up to $3,000. Who knows? I'm out of it. But I have noticed something, and this is why I bring this up. Coinbase, which is the exchange that I'm with, when I went to liquidate, they gave me a big time runaround about, I had to verify all this information. It's still not done. I'm not sweating it because it's $34. And, hopefully I'll eventually get it out of there. But it keeps saying that you need to verify this information. I've already verified it. Banking information. I've already verified it. I'm not trying to make a transaction of $3.4 million. It's $34. So I don't know. Is Coinbase having an issue? I don't know. But I can tell you that that has been my experience thus far with them. Let's switch to another aspect of the digital asset space, NFTs. Now this one I have lampooned. I cannot understand why someone would believe that they can buy the first tweet, okay, for $3 million and then turn around and sell it for multiples of that, okay? The first tweet, you can go onto Google right now, type in first tweet, go to images, and then you can have the first tweet for free. All right, and I've actually did a thing where I had the link to the first tweet, so you can have it for free. I might do that again in the comments. So this tweet sold for $3 million back in 2020, and it dropped 99% in value because people finally woke the hell up and they understand now that what am I owning? What do I have? Is it really non-fungible? I funged the hell out of the first tweet by just giving you the link so you can make a copy of it if you want. It's all smoke and mirrors. It's BS, this NFT garbage. All right? I will be harsh on it. If you want to buy an NFT, a true NFT, a true non-fungible token, go out and buy some real estate. Real estate is a non-fungible token. When they talk about non-fungibility, that simply means that it's unique. Okay, you can't, and I've never understood this. You can't copy it, but that's not true. Okay, and it's not unique if it's electronic. You can continue to create, like a Xerox copy. Let me give you the definition. NFT stands for non-fungible token. It's generally built using the same kind of programming as a cryptocurrency, like Bitcoin or Ethereum. But that's where the similarities end. Physical money and cryptocurrencies are fungible, meaning they can be traded or exchanged for one another. Okay, so they're trying to say that You can't trade an NFT for another NFT, or you can't trade the same NFT for the same, whatever, okay? The bottom is falling out of that house of cards also. While many of us have been forced to at least try to understand what an NFT is over the last year or so, the latest figures from Google Trends suggest that this research has not led to a sustained interest in the topic. For those who haven't as yet attempted to get grips on the phenomenon, here's Wikipedia to the rescue. They say a non-fungible token is a non-interchangeable unit of data stored on a blockchain, a form of digital ledger that can be sold and traded. Types of NFT data units may be associated with digital files such as photos, videos, and audio. What? I can't. So you're saying that I can't duplicate a photo, video, or audio file? Whatever, man. If you want an NFT, go and get some real estate. I'm looking at a piece of real estate right now. That's right there. And then there's another piece of real estate that's way over there. They are non-fungible, okay? They cannot be interchanged for one another simply because they have different values. This one is smaller in terms of the improved structure than that one. This one, way over there, has more land area than that one. So they're not fungible, okay? Look, all of this smoke and mirrors, all of this, poppycock, I am an investor. I encourage people to invest in the tried and true. We are not making any more lands, okay? Except for maybe in Hawaii when they have a volcano, and that won't be ready for habitation for probably 1,000,000 years. So get yourself, if you really want a non-fungible token, look into some real estate, okay, that you can put up some crops on, or you can harvest some timber off of, or you can rent out to some individual, family, or organization, okay? That's it for the digital space, in terms of what I have to say today. Go with the tried and true, people. Don't try. If you don't understand it, it's another thing that Warren Buffett says. If you don't really understand it, don't put your money into it. You got to understand what these companies do, what these assets do, okay? Understand it. Understand their history, all right? Do you really want to take your hard-earned money and put it into something that has been around for 2 years? No one ever heard of it before 2 years ago? Really? Okay, you want to take a risk like that? That's just not for me. I'm not giving you any advice, but that's the way I roll. All right, guys, I'll talk to you soon.